What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a glam going out makeup look. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a glam going out makeup look. What I usually do when I go out to dinners with friends or family or a party. This is the makeup look I'll do. So let's just get into it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and follow all my socials, which will be linked down below as always. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I first usually take my Mario Badescu spray, and then I usually use the Road Glazing Milk after that to kind of do a little bit of skin prep, but I also don't really have a skincare routine, and I'm trying to find the right stuff to use for it. But do those. Oh my god, I want to get one of those little fans. You know, you just and then I take the glazing milk, just take it out one, not that much, not a lot really, and then just apply that all over because it really just hydrates the skin, as you can see, and I love it. Honestly, have to purchase some more from Hailey because this is so good. And I love her pineapple refresh, which I have, but I'm like, what's that? I need to get a new one because it removes my makeup really well, especially when it's like a big glam makeup. Okay, now that that is rubbed in and soaked in a little bit, I usually would either go and mix this Radiant Glow Tinted Moisturizer from DB with my glazing milk and put that on, or I will either do just concealer and like color corrector, but I got a new foundation because my other one didn't match anymore, but I'm going to use this one for today. So I'll take this, and I usually do pumps on the back of my hand, like 3. That is actually such a lie. Okay, so I realized I forgot to do my eyebrows first. So I'm going to take my NYX eyebrow gel in the brow glue, is what it's called. Okay, so I'm just going to take the brow gel. I just have to be very careful because I have the foundation in my hand. So I take that and then just apply that through the brows. And because I have really awkward brow shape, I need a lot. So just take that and brush it through. And then let that side sit for a second and then go to the other, which is going to be harder to do because I usually use my left hand to do it. Because there's foundation on it, we will do with the right hand. Okay, so now that they're both brushed up, as you can see, because it looks pretty hectic, I usually take just one of my fingers and rest it on top of the eyebrow so then it sets like quicker and it's stuck in the position that you're wanting them to be, like your eyebrow hairs. So just do that and then do the end of the eyebrow like so, and then just do the same thing to the other eyebrow. Like so, you can kind of see that they're kind of laid in the position that I want them to be. And take the eyebrow brush and just run that over them and brush the hairs down is what I do. So then I've got the perfect eyebrow shape. Which I only started using eyebrow gel like mid last year, around this time I think. And I was using the Rare Beauty brow gel. And that's actually a really good brow gel. I need to get another one of them. But NYX for like a drugstore brand is a really good one to use as well, this one. And then after I do that, I'll take my color corrector, my NYX one, and I'll use the bottom because I have really dark eyebrows, dark under eyes. So I use that to brighten it up a little bit, and then I'll put my foundation. over it, but I completely forgot about that today. So we're adjusting. So I'm just going to take a little brush and then just apply that under the eye, and you'll see the difference on what that makes with me. Just take that and tap it underneath the eye, like so. And then I've been using the other end of this brush to just blend it in. And then I'll go over with the Beauty Blender, but just to kind of get it into the corners, I use this. But there, you can kind of see the little bit of a difference that it's done from this eye to that eye. I love it. I'm actually so happy that I learned about color correcting and using it, because it's made such a drastic change in my makeup. And then I also like to take some just here to get rid of the redness around my nose that I have, and then a little bit of redness on my chin too. And then I'll blend that out again with the end of the brush. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I'll take my Beauty Blender and just blend those out a bit more. Now, moving on to foundation, I'll take the brush and just apply it. Take the Beauty Blender, and then I'm going to use this and just start blending that out. I even go back under the eye to kind of add more coverage there, just because of how dark my eyes are. And then always take it to your ears, even though it's like a pain to clean. It blends really well for you then, so I always do that. Just take that down. I also like to do it somewhat in like sections, so it's blending out evenly, and then it's also like not drying out too quickly if I do the whole face and then waiting for that to, like, it dries and then I'm doing this side and it's not dried and it's all blended. Just do the same thing on the other side of the face is what I usually do. I'll take the Beauty Blender again and just blend that all out, down the chin, down the neck. Always make sure as well that you're getting it up into your hairline, because you can see like a drastic change in the colour of your foundation to like your hairline. It's a lot lighter. So I always make sure to try and do that, even if it makes the hair look frizzy. Now, is the foundation done? I'm just going to get something to wash this off, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to take a Q-tip as well, lick it, like so, and then just remove any of the foundation that's gotten on your lips. It seems like the colour difference a little bit is really good. And then I'll take the other side and then do it with the top lip as well. And then I usually take another one and just kind of run it through the eyebrows to kind of get any like foundation or anything that's gotten through them a little bit, but without disturbing like the obviously eyebrow gel in there. But just do that and see there's like a little bit on there from the eyebrows. From there, I take my concealer, which I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. She's expensive, but she is a really good concealer to use. And then I've also got, for a drugstore one, I've got a Maybelline New York Fit Me Concealer. I was using that one as well when I didn't have the money to buy a newer expensive one. But take that, and I just do like two little, I don't even know what you would call it, two little square things under my eyes. And then on the other side. And then again, I will take it under my nose and my chin, kind of where I put all of my color corrector. And then that's where all the concealer placement will be. And then I'll take same Beauty Blender and then blend those out. because that is done, I will take my new NYX Professional Wonder Stick, and because this is like a duo, it's got a highlighter on one side and then contour on the other. So we're going to take the contour side, which I've only recently started learning how to do contour. I'm not the best at it, but this is what works for me. And I had someone at Sephora when I was getting a contour, I think it was, or a powder, something, seemed to kind of help me understand how to shape my face and my face shape. So I've been doing that, and I'm just tried not to do it as harsh because then it looks a little weird. But he would go here for me, just a little line, and then on the brow end up here, and then I do one in the middle, and then I just do the same thing on the other side, and then I also add the jawline, is what exists of the jawline, and then same thing on this side, and then that's all the contour lines I'll do for my face shape. I know it's different for every face shape, so you kind of gotta find what works best for your face, even if it is going into like Priceline, Sephora, or Mecca, like, and asking them like, hey, can you just kind of help me on how to shape my face? And I'll do it. It's free, obviously, like you don't have to pay anything. But then I'll take my new brush that I got and I'll blend that out with it. Like, see how that already looks so harsh? I always will go back in with my concealer anyway to kind of clean it up if I think it's too harsh. Really, there's so many things about makeup that I'm still learning now. And because I don't watch as many makeup tutorials on like YouTube anymore like I used to, it's where I learned everything. I'm watching them on TikTok. And I have so many makeup creators that I watch, which I love and adore. I'll put their names up on the screen actually, their TikToks. I know one that I watch is Paloma. She lives in New York City. No surprise. Love her. I love her makeup. And I like tutorials and the looks that she does. And then there's also Margaret, their friend. Like she also lives in New York City. And I love them. Like they're so funny. And their makeup looks always looks so freaking good. And I'm always jealous because I want it to look that good on me all the time. Okay, now that I'm back and I look crazy as hell, I'm just gonna take my NARS concealer and I'm just gonna clean up all the harshness that's kind of shown up. I'm just gonna take that. I'm gonna do that right below the contour line here. And then just a little on top. And then I'll take the beauty blender and clean that up. Okay, now that is with all the contour done, I know it looks a little weird, but you can still kind of see it here, and it's not as harsh and crazy, but you've definitely seen the bronziness come to life on me, which I love, and I'm still kind of learning how to do my bronzer, so it's not perfection level yet. And then moving on to blush, a cream blush. Have been using my Rode Pocket Blush in the shade Spicy Mug. But I usually just do the little typical smile and do two little dots of that, kind of near the apples of the cheeks. And then I'll take a different bead blender and blend it out with that. I also take just a little bit on the nose to give it a little sun-kissed look. It's not usually a lot that I put there, but I just like it. It gives it like a little, you can see it like just there. Once that's done, I go on to powder, which I use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting powder in shade Blondie. Just to get all that out. And then I take my little powder puff. Literally just a Kmart one, because to pay like $58 for a powder puff is really crazy. This was like $2-3, so I'll stick to buying that, and it still works the same. You take that, dab it in, and because there's so much on there, just tap the excess on the hand, tap it all off, and then just under the eyes of where you put your concealer, and then if you need more, just go back in and just do the same thing of tapping the excess powder away. Here, a little bit on there, so like the T-zone areas, and then I also put it here. I like to drag it just down there because that cleans that up a little bit as well. I'll take this little Wicked makeup brush and brush all of that away. Now that that has been set, I always take my Mario spray and I will just spritz it to kind of hydrate the skin again because it's gotten so matte with all the powder. So I like to take that and let that kind of set. I'll go on to actually fill in my eyebrows, and I use the Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil. It was either this one or I'm using the Kosas brow pencil as well, which I haven't gotten that in a while because it broke and she's quite expensive. But I really want to find a drugstore one to use as well. So if I like don't have the money for the expensive ones, I can just go buy a cheaper one. And I take that and I always do the front of my eyebrow. There's like a little line which you can kind of see, and then I like to use my finger to kind of blend it out. And for the tail, just take it through. And then it's really nothing crazy. And I know there's a gap there, it's because when I tweezed my eyebrows one day, I tweezed it a little hard and then that gap never left. But that's kind of how I do my eyebrows. Sometimes I'll have a good eyebrow day, sometimes I won't. Today, some were good. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other eyebrow. And that's eyebrows. I really like them. That's a good eyebrow day today, thank God. I also just realised doing all this, I forgot to put my primer on, which, this is so bad. Always put your primer on, but in this case I forgot to do that today, but I had my glazing milk and my Mario spray on. I usually use the Maybelline New York Grippy Serum Primer, but always put your primer on. Shanti forgot to do that today, because that'll help the makeup sit longer if you're going out for a long period of time, or if you even want to do, even if you want to do a long, like, makeup day, always put your primer on because that'll always help it stick for the day, and this is up to 24 hours. After that, powder blush. I take my Morphe Wine and Dine Cheek Thrills one, and I take the powder blush just on the bottom. Now she's very pigmented, but there's still some in here, so in this case I'm probably not going to dab it in there. I'm just going to take it straight from the brush and just blend that. And I most definitely have blush blindness because I went to uni one day and my teacher said to me, she goes, "Are you okay? You're very red in the," he said, sorry, like, "you're very red in the face." I was like, "No, yeah, I'm fine, like, I'm good." He goes, "Oh no, your face just looks really red." I was like, "Oh, it's probably my blush," because I would have been using my Rare Beauty one, and obviously these are pigmented, so she kind of messed me up that day. And then that's the blush all done. And then my favorite part, I guess, but it's my eyeshadow. I use my Soft Glam Anastasia Beverly Hills palette or my Modern Renaissance palette. I think I'm going to use the Modern Renaissance one today, but I'll just take this palette, and I will use the Raw Sienna shade here to kind of set my eyelid. Just take that, tap the excess off. Now that's kind of set, I'll take different eyeshadow brushes. I'm going to take this one. Where is the shade that I usually use? Here. I'm going to take two and mix them together. Where are they? I'm going to take I'm not even sure how to pronounce this, the Bon Fresco, like this light purpley one. And then I'm going to take the red ochre just underneath that and mix those together. And you'll see. Just take a little bit of that. I go back like at least 3-4 times. And then tap the excess off. And then just slowly start building that on the outer corner of my eye. There's no like really right way to do eyeshadow, and it's obviously different because every eye shape's different, so you've got to do it to complement your eye. That's what I do with that, and then I'll just do the same thing on the other side. That is the base of the eyeshadow, and then I will take, oh my god, this brush, and I'll add a shimmer, Vermeer or the Primavera. So either one of these two shimmer shades here. In this case, I'm going to take the bottom one, which is Primavera. Take that with a flat-ended brush, and then put that right on the inner corner. Another trick you can do is you can spray it, the brush that you're wanting to use, and then go back in, and you'll have like a better pigment from the eyeshadow. As you can see, it's kind of just picked that up so much better and place that all over. Now, it looks very hectic. I'll take the end of this brush and just kind of blend it softly together. And there we go. That's kind of how I like it to look on me. And I'll just do the same thing for the other eye. Okay. And that is what the eye will look like after when I do it. And then I'll take my Mecca Maxima Wink Ink Super Liquid Eyeliner. And then I'll use this and just do a little wing. Remember, they're sisters, not twins. Because I don't like the way that's winging, I will take my concealer on this little angled brush and I'll clean that up because I don't like the way that has gone. I'll take it, put it on the back of my hand, the concealer. Then I'll take the brush, dip that in. Let that sit a bit and see how that's kind of cleaned that up, which is what I wanted. So we're gonna let that sit for a second and then I'll blend it out. But while it's doing that, I'm gonna go do the other eye. Take this brush here and blend out that concealer. And see how much better that looks already. Oh my god. I'm actually really happy with that. Now that that's done, the less harder part. Less harder. It is kind of hard, but I've recently started doing it with a glam look. I will take, kind of darken and like kind of open up the eye. I'll take this black eyeliner in the Soft Glam palette Noir down here. I'm just going to take the end of this brush, dip in to there, and I pull my eye down a little bit and go to the waterline. So it's kind of opened it a little bit more with the eyeshadow there. This is the kind of brush that you want to use when you're doing this kind of waterline with the eyeshadow and stuff. And just do the same thing, but kind of bring it all the way in. That is what the eye is looking like now compared to this one. It looks so much better, and I honestly recommend doing that, even though it's a lot of work and you have to make sure no tears or anything runs down. That is both the eyes done with that, and then we move on to mascara, which, what is this one? The Benefit Fan Fest mascara. We'll just take that, do the top and bottom lashes. That is the mascara all done. I'll take my highlight, which is on the dual stick that I have. And then on to my favorite, which is the lips. Oh my god, hello. I use the Charlotte Tilbury lip sheet contour duo. I got this off my auntie, she gave it to me. But I like using a brown liner, so I usually have that one. Or I use my Kylie Cosmetics one in a brown one, like a burgundy brown. And then I have this NYX one, which is a cheaper option, in the shade the OG Brew, I think. But we use Charlotte Tilbury one in the lighter shade. So that's the liner. And then I take my Kylie Cosmetics Plumping Powder Matte Lip, and I just put that in the middle. And if I feel like it's a little too much pink, I'll go back in with the liner and just kind of reline it a bit. And then I take my NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil in Miss Cole and I apply that over to add a little gloss. And then I'll take my NYX Dewy Finish Finny Satin Setting Spray and spray that. Fan myself to let it dry. And that is the finished makeup look. I'll give you guys a close up as well. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look. I think it looks really pretty, and I always love doing it. That wing liner is actually really pissing me off, but that's like the finished makeup look. I really like it. But that's what I usually always do for when I'm going out, or like I said, like going to a dinner or something. I'll always do a glam makeup look like this, and it's always been the same for a while. It's just like adding new things like eyebrow gel, a new blush, or the eyeshadow on the waterline and everything, and then the brows as well, doing a bit more with them, and then the lips, whole thing. And then also, please do not forget to do primer. You always need to do primer. I shouldn't have forgot to do that today, like I said multiple times, but that always helps your makeup stay longer during the day, the night, however you're wearing glam makeup. You can also do that for like an everyday makeup as well. Always put on when you're putting makeup on, even if it's only a little bit. But yeah, that is the makeup look all done. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and comment down below what else you want to see from me, and follow all my socials, which will be linked down below as always, as you guys know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in Friday's video.